Tuesday morning, Soro reaffirmed his determination to reinforce the role of Parliament, in which the ruling party is expected to have an absolute majority.
The UN and Arab League envoy to Syria, Kofi Annan, has left Damascus for Turkey without any assurances from the government of Syria of a cessation of its crackdown on dissent. A United Nations Inquiry Commission has accused Syrian security forces of war crimes. The UN, as we hear in this report, is again calling for an end to the violence.
Mediator Kofi Annan left Damascus for Turkey Tuesday without an agreement from Syrian President al-Assad to stop civilian massacres.
The killing of civilians must end now. The world must send a clear and united message that this is simply unacceptable.
Kofi Annan said he was still expecting a response to his proposals from the Syrian president. The number of people killed every day in Syria continues to climb. An amateur video shows dozens of women and children killed by army forces in the city of Homs. A United Nations Inquiry Commission meeting in Switzerland accuses Syrian army forces of international crimes.
The reliable body of evidence from our investigations indicates that particular individuals may reasonably be suspected of bearing responsibility for international crimes.
The United Nations is calling on the Syrian authorities to allow aid agencies access to civilians.
We have asked for access to a number of different towns and cities. What the authorities said in the letter to me was that we could start within a week, which means Thursday.
Meanwhile, Russia has given in to international pressure to allow international monitors to observe a ceasefire between troops and rebels. But President Bashar al-Assad's announcement of parliamentary elections on the 7th of May is not taken seriously by the international community or the opposition.
A disturbing story in Iraq has revealed that young men who dress in Western clothing are described as defiant and social outcasts. Young men who dress like that are mostly described as gay, which could easily get them killed. As CNN's Brian Todd reports, more than 10 young men have been killed so far, and his story contains some graphic images.
On the streets of Baghdad, this is a very different and dangerous look. A Western style with longer hair, tighter clothes. It's called emo, and if you're a young man in Iraq who wants to look like this, it could get you killed.
There is a very strong wave of killing people who are such called emos or gays, you know, people who look different than the usual Iraqi people, you know, tie jeans, long hair, maybe goatee.
We spoke to a human rights activist who didn't want us to use his name or show his face. He says he's not gay or emo, but has longer hair, listens to heavy metal music. He says he shaved his goatee out of fear.
What is the atmosphere like in Baghdad now for people like yourself just to walk around?
Well, basically, when I was coming to the CNN bureau here in Baghdad, there were 2 checkpoints who told me to cut my hair unless there is they will kill me with a block cement. Not them, but they were like, you know, advising me so people won't kill me with the block cement blocks.
A senior Iraqi Interior Ministry official not authorized to talk to the media tells CNN at least 14 young men perceived to be either gay or dressed in emo style have been killed in Baghdad in recent weeks. Human rights activists put the number much higher, and they provide graphic evidence. Photos posted online show people believed to be victims because of their appearance. It's not clear exactly who's killing them, but activists have given CNN copies of warning letters and lists like this one, distributed in conservative neighborhoods like Sadr City and Baghdad. Lists identifying potential gay or emo targets. There are also serious questions about whether the Iraqi government is able or willing to protect these men. Last month, Iraq's Interior Ministry released a statement saying it was following the emo phenomenon or devil worshipping, also saying we have the approval to eliminate it as soon as possible, and that the so-called moral police would enter schools in Baghdad. The ministry later issued a statement saying it's received no reports of emos being murdered. It warns vigilantes from attacking and says those dressed in emo style will be protected. One young man who says he's not gay but wears tight jeans and shirts says he's not taking chances.
I can't do like the emo thing in the clothes. I can't do that anymore. I'm afraid I might get killed.
Contacted by CNN, a State Department spokesman says it is monitoring this closely, has expressed concern to the Iraqi government. And we strongly condemn the recent violence and killings in Iraq by groups who appear to be targeting individuals based on their sexual orientation, gender identity, or personal expression. The spokesman also points out that in recent days, Iraqi parliamentarians and religious leaders, including Grand Ayatollah Ali Sistani, have denounced these attacks.
We now take our second break. Stay tuned.
.001 coming soon.
Welcome back. And before we go, a reminder of our headlines. Vice President Dr. Astatunjai Saidi and Joanna Hewitt, an envoy of Australian Prime Minister Julia Gillard, have been discussing key issues revolving around Banjul-Canberra ties. Tax officials from across West Africa have converged on Banjul to share experiences and best practice. President Alassane Ouattara has appointed former head of the New Forces Rebel Group, Guillaume Soro, Speaker of the Ivory Coast Parliament. An UN and Arab League envoy to Syria, Kofi Annan, left Damascus empty-handed on a day Syrian forces intensified their bombardment of areas controlled by opposition fighters. You can also follow those stories and other GRTS programs live on our website at www.grts.gm. There you can also monitor GRTS Radio Live. That brings us to the end of this edition of news. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of our programs.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
يا أيها الذين آمنوا أوفوا بالعقود أحلت لكم بهيمة الأنعام إلا ما يتلى عليكم غير محل الصيد وأنتم حرم
Badingolu nyim programo mi yalon kombina wala sambalale nan abe dending His Excellency na banko President Dr. Alhaji Yaya AJJ Jammeh abe jararo min ke kan mole min yalon ko kuran keso mi mo HIV ning AIDS be minula banko kan wo jararo mbina wala sambalale nan ka tentengale tumo minna ay jararo tunkum folo kenum mo folo la minu yalon ko wolle tatanum president ya pour que jara adon ay jara fo ikendeyata mo muwan anin worowula kotek min yalon ko nyin kuran keso bela e wolnata finti kata president o ya ka jararo nyinin